Number 18, Malebolgia. If Hell had a middle manager who thought he was the CEO, it would be Malebolgia. This horned nightmare is one of the big bads of Todd McFarlane's Spawn, and the demon who basically gave us the anti-hero himself, Al Simmons. Malebolgia isn't just another snarling monster in the fire pits, he rules the 8th sphere of hell, basically like a conniving landlord who never leaves. His favorite hobby? Cooking up hellspawn to send against heaven and earth, all while making sure the rent stays high on human misery. Power-wise, he's loaded. We're talking massive strength, teleportation, blasting eldritch energy like it's on tap, and even manipulating matter and souls inside his domain. He can regenerate from just about anything, create bodies out of nothing, and twist mortals into hell's champions. Basically, he's the demon equivalent of a shady talent scout who never stops recruiting. The scale of his influence depends on the writer. Sometimes he feels like a multiversal Hell King, other times he's just a very loud boss of one floor of Hell's skyscraper. Either way, he survived Heaven's armies, tangled with Spawn himself, and kept scheming across dimensions. Malebolgia isn't just a villain. He's the devil you know is planning 3 steps ahead. Number 17, Mammon. If Malebolgia is Hell's loud, angry landlord, then Mammon is your smooth-talking real estate agent who sells you on the contract that ruins your life. In the world of Spawn, Mammon isn't the biggest, scariest demon in the room. He's the one who smiles, shakes your hand, and convinces you that selling your soul was your idea. Unlike Malebolgia's brute force style, Mammon plays the long game. He's elegant, calm, and patient, weaving plots that span centuries. His power isn't in fireballs or muscle, it's in corruption. He makes deals that bend fate itself, nudge people into choices that doom them, and can even rewrite destinies through his bargains. And sometimes he's described as a fallen or rejected angel, other times he's something outside of heaven and hell altogether. But what never changes is his role as a master manipulator. His abilities are wide-ranging. Soul manipulation, resurrection, immortality, and the power to grant or strip away incredible gifts. He doesn't need to throw a punch, because by the time you realize he's the villain, you're already half done his work for him. In many arcs, he's even overshadowed Malebolgia's politically, proving that in hell, brains often beat brawn. Mammon isn't chaos, he's calculated doom. Number 16, The Darkness. Most people get a watch or maybe even nothing for their 21st birthday. Jackie Estacado got the Darkness, a primordial force of shadows that makes every other inheritance look weak by comparison. In the Top Cow Image universe, the Darkness isn't just a power-up. It's the literal opposite of Angelus, a cosmic yin to her yang, and it chose Jackie as its unlucky spokesperson. Once bonded, Jackie gains the kind of abilities that make mob bosses and superheroes equally nervous. He can summon demonic armor and weapons out of pure shadow, create swarms of twisted little goblins called Darklings, teleport through shadows, and even reshape his body in horrifying ways. Sunlight is his kryptonite, but at night or in darkness, Jackie's a one-man army with a whole army inside him. At its most mystic level, the Darkness is far more than Jackie. It's a primordial force older than religion itself, capable of swallowing light, rewriting reality within its domain, and bringing apocalypse-scale destruction if unchecked. Of course, it has its weaknesses. Hosts can be killed, artifacts can interfere, and daytime makes things tricky. But the big picture is clear. The Darkness isn't just scary power, it's night itself, weaponized. Number 15, Black Winter. If Galactus is the guy who eats your house, the Black Winter is the thing that eats your entire neighborhood, then erases the map so no one even remembers it was ever there. First appearing in Thor and Silver Surfer, the Black Winter isn't just another Marvel villain. It's a cosmic reset button dressed up as an endless frost. This entity doesn't bother with planets or stars, it devours whole universes, entire iterations of reality itself. In Marvel lore, it consumes the cosmos that existed before ours, and in some myths, it was even the force that transformed Galen of Ta into Galactus. That's right, Galactus! Marvel's ultimate planet eater is basically its intern. Its powers are terrifyingly broad. It can disintegrate matter and even metaphysical structures with its eldritch winter bend time and casually across cycles of creation, and create heralds to do its work. But when it shows up, even beings of Galactus' level either run or plot in desperation. But here's the kicker. The Black Winter isn't a mustache-twirling villain. It's not cruel or greedy. It's indifferent. It's the cosmic snowstorm that buries everything. Not because it wants to, but because that's what it is. The end of everything, wrapped in silence and cold. Number 14, Nekron. If the Grim Reaper ever decided to unionize and go corporate, you'd get Nekron. In DC Comics, Nekron isn't just another villain with a skull motif. He's the literal embodiment of death. The cold void, waiting at the end of every heartbeat. And when he shows up, the lights don't just go out, he makes sure they never come back on. Nekron's powers are about as cheerful as you'd expect. He commands absolute necromancy, able to raise and control the dead on a cosmic scale. With the Black Lantern Corps at his side, he forges constructs of black energy, opens doors between life and death, and even snuffs out the spark that keeps cosmic titans alive. During the Blackest Night event, he went for the big leagues, reanimating fallen heroes and villains across the DC universe, turning icons like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman into his puppets. What makes Nekron terrifying isn't just his ability to build a zombie army. It's that he represents the natural end of all things. He's not chaos, not conquest, but inevitability. In the hierarchy of the DC threats, Nekron doesn't just fight the heroes. He threatens life itself, makes him less of a villain and more of a walking full stop. Number 13, God Emperor Doom. Victor Von Doom always thought he deserved to be a god. In Secret Wars, he finally got the promotion. And he didn't just get a shiny new outfit, he stole the Beyonder's power and rebuilt existence itself. Enter God Emperor Doom, the version of Doom who stopped being just Marvel's smartest megalomaniac and became a full-blown reality-warping deity. With his stolen cosmic arsenal, Doom stitched together the ruins of dying universes into a patchwork planet called Battleworld, ruling over countless domains like some medieval warlord with an infinite cheat code. His powers were staggering, reshaping matter and energy at will, resurrecting or recreating the dead, rewriting landscapes, and literally enforcing law across entire realities. Heroes didn't just fight him, they lived under his godhood. Of course, Doom's divine energy wasn't entirely solo. His power came through Molecule Man, the human conduit for the Beyonder's essence, which meant Doom's omnipotence had limits. Still, what made it terrifying wasn't just the scope of power, it was Doom's trademark precision. He wielded godhood the way he wielded science and sorcery, with ruthless control. In the end, he didn't keep the throne forever, but for that story arc, Doom stood shoulder to shoulder with Marvel's cosmic heavyweights. Finally a god, and exactly as dangerous as he always claimed. Number 12, Ogdru Jahad. If you ever wondered what would happen if Lovecraft's worst nightmares got together for a family reunion, you'd end up with Ogdru Jahad. In Mike Mignola's Hellboy universe, these are the ancient dragons of hell. Colossal, reality-breaking monsters sealed away beyond existence because letting them out would basically mean game over for creation. The Ogdru Jahad aren't the kind of villains you fight with punches or witty banter. They're described as mountain-sized, immortal, and so alien that mortals who even glimpse them risk madness. Their main hobby is spawning the Ogdru Helm, the abominations that crawl out into the world like horror on steroids, reshaping landscapes and ecosystems with their corruption. Every cult worth its black robes spends centuries trying to break their chains, because the moment these dragons are freed, the apocalypse is no longer a maybe, it's a certainty. In terms of raw threat, there are less characters and more existential forces. They don't scheme or monologue. Their very presence is doom. Mignola often leaves their powers vague on purpose, which makes them scarier. The Ogdru Jahad aren't just big monsters, they're the story's looming reminder that some evils can't be beaten, only delayed. They are annihilation waiting for a crack in the door. Number 11, Molecule Man. If reality were a Lego set, Molecule Man is the guy who not only owns every piece, but can also decide whether Legos should even exist. Owen Reese may look like an ordinary, sometimes insecure man, but thanks to a freak accident, he became one of Marvel's most dangerously overpowered figures. His gift? Control over matter and energy at the molecular level, which in comic book terms basically means everything. With that control, he can rewrite reality, create or destroy matter, blast energy like it's nothing, and even serve as a cosmic battery for bigger players. In fact, his most famous role was acting as the conduit for Beyonder power, fueling God Emperor Doom's stitched-together battle world during Secret Wars, which we've discussed earlier. Later, his very existence became critical to the Marvel multiverse itself. Whole universes relied on him as a kind of metaphysical glue. But here's the twist. Molecule Man's limits aren't his powers, they're his emotions. At full focus, he can warp existence on multiversal scales. When unstable, he's unpredictable and just as dangerous, but not in a controlled way. That combination makes him less of a traditional villain and more of a narrative wildcard. A soft-spoken man who could casually unmake the cosmos. Number 10, Krona. Some scientists cure diseases. Others invent cool gadgets. Krona? He almost broke existence just to answer a question. In DC lore, Krona is a Malthusian scientist whose obsession with discovering the universe's origin made him the galaxy's most dangerous curiosity addict. When he peered too far into creation, he didn't just uncover secrets, he cracked reality itself. Depending on the version you read, Krona's experiments either fractured the singular universe into the DC multiverse, or unleashed horrors that should have stayed locked away. Either way, he's the reason "Don't mess with creation" should be written in giant letters above every lab. His power isn't just in raw energy blasts or new god tech, though he has those too, it's his mind. Armed with cosmic-level intellect and advanced devices, he destabilizes entire realities, the way a hacker crashes a server, except the server is the universe. Krona has battled the heavyweights of New Genesis and Apocalypse, but his true threat is existential. He isn't a tyrant trying to rule the cosmos. He's a scientist so reckless that his curiosity literally rewrites it. Among DC villains, Krona is proof that the most terrifying enemy isn't always a god of war, it's Socrates with superpowers. Number 9, Parallax. Fear is powerful. You could sell movies with it, control nations with it, or if you're Parallax, nearly tear the DC universe apart. Parallax isn't just a spooky name for a villain. It's the living embodiment of fear itself. An ancient parasitic entity that loves nothing more than finding a strong-willed host and twisting them into its puppet. At its core, Parallax is the source of the yellow light, the engine behind the Sinestro core, and the cosmic reservoir of fear energy. On its own, it's terrifying, but when it bonds with someone like Hal Jordan, well, that's when universes start to shake. During the infamous Emerald Twilight saga, Parallax possessed Hal, wiped out most of the Green Lantern Corps, and in half an hour, even tried to rewrite reality itself. That's the scale we're talking about. Reality warping, timeline bending, planetary possession, and psychological corruption all rolled into one. Parallax's true weapon isn't just power beams or cosmic explosions, it's fear. By infecting whole planets with paranoia, it can soften civilizations for collapse before the first punch is even thrown. That makes it both a metaphysical nightmare and a tactical one. After all, how do you defeat fear itself when you're already inside your head? Number 8, Anti-Monitor. If Galactus makes heroes panic by eating planets, the Anti-Monitor makes them despair by eating universes. This towering juggernaut of antimatter is DC's ultimate cosmic predator, first unleashed in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and his appetite is nothing short of multiversal. Born from the antimatter realm, his entire existence is written as a counter to creation itself. Where there is positive matter, he wants to consume it and replace it with his own void. The Anti-Monitor's arsenal is about as subtle as a sledgehammer to reality. He can manipulate antimatter on a cosmic scale, erase whole universes with waves of destruction, unleash devastating energy blasts, and grow stronger with every cosmos he devours. He's also massively durable, capable of swatting away league-level heroes like gnats, and can alter his size and mass until he towers over entire worlds. His greatest claim to infamy remains Crisis on Infinite Earths, where he destroyed countless Earths, rewrote DC continuity, and forced every major hero and cosmic being into one desperate coalition to stop him. And even after that, he keeps coming back in later stories as a recurring multiversal threat. The Anti-Monitor isn't just a villain. He's the extinction event that makes heroes prey for retcons. Number 7. Pre-Retcon Beyonder. Back in 1984, Marvel dropped a character so overpowered that even the writers eventually said, okay, that's too much. That character was the Pre-Retcon Beyonder, the godlike force behind the original Secret Wars. Unlike most Marvel heavy hitters who at least live inside the multiverse, the Beyonder came from outside of it, a being from beyond reality itself, which basically translates to normal rules don't apply. The Pre-Retcon Beyonder's power was absurd. He could warp reality however he pleased, reshape space and time, create worlds from scratch, and casually erase or grant existence. His most famous trick was yanking all of Earth's biggest heroes and villains into Battle World, just because he wanted to watch them brawl. He wasn't limited to flashy parlor tricks though. He rivaled cosmic abstracts, altered histories, and made entire universes look like toys in his sandbox. Of course, Marvel later retconned him into being just one member of the Beyonders race, dialing him back into something more manageable. But in that original run, he wasn't just a villain or a cosmic powerhouse. He was basically the author stepping into the story with a pen in hand. Pre-Retcon Beyonder didn't just bend rules, he wrote them, erased them, and laughed while doing it. Number 6. Perpetua. Most villains want to rule the world. Perpetua looked at the entire DC multiverse and thought, cute, but I could do better. Introduced as one of the cosmic hands of the Source, she isn't just another reality breaker. She's the architect who built the original multiverse itself, complete with her 3 very important sons, the Overmonitor, the World Forger, and Mobius, who later became the Anti-Monitor. In short, she's Mom, but the kind who grounds you by rewriting existence. Perpetua's abilities are staggering. She can create and unmake universes, twist reality across multiversal scales, manipulate the high-octane crisis energies that fuel DC's biggest shakeups, and even bend the will of the mighty judges of the Source. She has commanded legions of nightmare armies, empowered Dark Knights, and nearly succeeded in reshaping the entire Omniverse during the Dark Knights death metal saga. What makes her so dangerous isn't just the raw scale of her power, it's her intent. Perpetua isn't chaos or corruption. She's deliberate, a cosmic engineer who believes her design is superior. Heroes weren't just fighting a godlike villain. They were to find the blueprint of existence itself. And when the blueprint decides to fight back, reality doesn't stand a chance. Number 5. Darkest Night. What happens when you give Batman godlike powers and then add a splash of Joker's insanity? You get the Darkest Night, one of the most terrifying creations to crawl out of DC's death metal saga. He's essentially the Batman who laughs, upgraded with Dr. Manhattan's reality-bending abilities, a cocktail of tactical genius, cosmic power, and sadistic humor. The Darkest Night doesn't just punch harder than everyone else. He thinks harder. Armed with Manhattan's perception of time, he can see past, present, and future all at once, turning every fight into a rigged chess match. He manipulates reality and casualty itself, hurls universe-shaking blasts, and casually rewrites cosmological frameworks as if they were blueprints. Add in Batman's trademark planning skills, and you've got a villain who uses omnipotence the way most people use a utility belt. In Death Metal, he went head-to-head with beings like Perpetua and didn't just hold his own, he dominated, harnessing Crises' energies and bending them to his will. Immortal, regenerating, and strategically impossible, the Darkest Night represents the nightmare scenario. Batman with ultimate power and zero morality. He's not chaos for chaos's sake. He's methodical doom with infinite tools, and that makes him one of DC's scariest inventions. Number 4, Thanos. Thanos has always been ambitious, snapping half the universe, courting death, chasing Infinity Stones, but Astral Regulator Thanos is cranking him the dial to final boss of everything. In Jim Starlin's Infinite Trilogy, the Mad Titan gets his hands on the Astral Regulator, an artifact woven into the very architecture of the multiverse. Think of it as a cosmic firewall meant to keep reality stable. Naturally, Thanos hacks it. Once plugged into the regulator, he doesn't just wield power. He starts absorbing it. Cosmic abstracts, universal forces, even multiversal overseers get swallowed up and folded into his being. In the Infinity ending, we see him overwhelm avatars of beings like the Living Tribunal and even what looks like Marvel's Above All Others, reshaping existence with casual dominance. For a moment, Thanos stops being the schemer chasing power and becomes the thing that rewrites the rules altogether. Of course, comic fans still debate how literal all this is. Did he really kill the one above all, or was it more of a story-specific echo? Either way, Astral Regulator Thanos remains one of the wildest versions of the character. Not just a conqueror or destroyer, but a titan who turned reality's own security system into his personal cheat code. Number 3, Beyonders. Imagine scientists so powerful, their lab experiments casually wipe out universes. That's basically the Beyonders, one of Marvel's strangest and scariest races. They don't live inside the Marvel multiverse like most cosmic beings. They exist outside it, in the mysterious beyond, which makes them feel less like characters and more like developers poking around in their own video game. Their powers are staggering. Near omnipotent control over matter, energy, and reality itself. They can travel across cosmic barriers, erase entire universes, and even take down abstract entities who normally sit at the very top of Marvel's food chain. If that wasn't enough, one of their side projects produced the classic Beyonder character from the 1984 Secret Wars, as we discussed earlier, so even their offspring can bend reality for fun. In modern stories, the Beyonders were revealed as the ones behind the incursions, those catastrophic universe collisions that led to the 2015 Secret Wars. Working together, they systematically dismantled cosmic order and even killed beings thought untouchable. And the scariest part, they don't do it out of malice, but out of curiosity, testing, tinkering, and adjusting existence like it's all just data points in their cosmic lab. For Marvel's heroes, that makes them less like villains and more like unstoppable natural disasters in lab coats. Number 2, the one below all. If Marvel needed ever a final boss of evil, it would look like the one below all. Think of it as the mirror opposite of the one above all, where one creates, the other destroys. Where one is light, the other is endless void. Introduced in Immortal Hulk, this entity isn't just another cosmic big bad. It's the embodiment of pure malice, living in a realm called the Below Place, which is basically the basement of all reality. Its powers aren't about flashy beams or punching planets. It's far scarier than that. The one below all corrupts, possesses, and twists mortals into its avatars, most notably through gamma energy, which ties it directly to Hulk's many monstrous forms. It's not just evil Hulk juice, though. It represents annihilation itself, gnawing at the roots of existence and pushing the Marvel cosmos towards destruction and endless cycles. We've seen it empower Hulk with world-ending rage, warp reality at its foundations, and linger as a force that can't truly be killed. What makes it chilling isn't just its strength, but its inevitability. You don't fight the one below all like a villain. You endure it like a black hole of hate that simply refuses to let go. Number 1, the Great Darkness. Before there was light, before there were heroes, before DC even had continuity headaches, there was the Great Darkness. This isn't just a villain with a cool name. It's literally the void before creation, the primordial antithesis to the presence itself. In other words, if existence is the party, the Great Darkness is the neighbor who shuts the power off for everyone. Across Swamp Thing, Justice League, and Dark Crisis, the Great Darkness is less a character and more a force of nature. It doesn't trade blows with Superman, it bends the multiverse by corrupting others to do its work. Pariah, Puppet, Upside Down Man, and other void spawners, just pieces of its shadow. Whenever it touches reality, things don't just get bad, they unravel. Its powers are sweeping, corrupting entire realities, twisting beings into its agents, and absorbing the most sinister cosmic energies into itself. Unlike other big bads, it doesn't need armies or tech. It just exists, and that existence alone destabilizes everything. Why is it number one? Because the Great Darkness isn't about conquering a planet or a timeline. It's about erasing creation itself. And when your villain resume includes undoing existence, you don't really need a plan B. Well, that's it for this one. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you never miss a drop. Craving more stories from comics, movies, and beyond? Check out this video right here. Cheers, and see you in the next one.